So, gentlemen, it's official. Oliver Kylington is not going to return to the Calgary Flames. He is a member of the Colorado Avalanche
This is true.
on a 1 year, 1 million,
1.05.
1.05. So
Hmm.
it's not term
Nope.
or big money.
But it's also not the money. But he also didn't show loyalty. So he's taking less money and not showing loyalty to get it. I wish him well. I think it's a good fit with Colorado. But when you look back at all the comments and the flirty batty eyes between the club and the player, this just doesn't match that at all. And he left almost $2 million on the table from my digging on this on a 1 year deal.
And we're not throwing anybody. We're not speaking out of school, but it was a 2-year deal.
I had heard that one at close to 3 was probably the latest.
I would have
still.
heard is that he was not looking for a 1 year deal at 1 million.
He thought there was some term out there, and I think he and JP Barry, I believe, is his agent, thought that there'd be an opportunity to go get a little more term, and whatever they thought was out there either wasn't, or it just disintegrated with teams addressing their needs elsewhere, and there they were, sort of waiting to be courted, not unlike Johnny Gaudreau when he thought he was probably going to Philly or Jersey or something like that, and ends up, well, geez, now that 3 million times 1 or whatever the Flames offered near that, well, they just gave some of that to Jake Bean, and that's kind of the 5-6 role that I was going to play there. And but next thing you know, you're 6 weeks into free agency.
This is a story as old as time. Musical chairs. If you want to hold out and you want to wait, you can, but be careful because July 1, July 2, there's a cap.
Yes.
In the NHL, there's a salary cap. Teams can only spend so much money, and teams tend to spend it. And once they're done, they can't spend anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like you say with JP Barry, if that's his
I believe it's JP.
That's a guy he's in tune. Now maybe he thinks he's got a handshake deal. Maybe he believes firmly in his heart that he's got a deal there. But then all of a sudden, that team, you won't believe it, so and so landed in our lap. We had no idea he'd be available. We got him. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. But
or Kylington just didn't really want to be here.
And if that's the case, you can say that. You can say, look, as part of my healing process, I want to say thank you to the Flames, but I might need to change scenery. Like, everyone would be okay with that. What I think rubs you the wrong way is when he makes it seem like a foregone conclusion that, thank you so much. There's so much gratitude to this organization and we can't wait to get a deal done. And then it's like, yeah, I don't really want to sign here. Like, well, it's kind of a bad look.
I'm not being cheeky. Did he come out and say that?
I mean, I'm paraphrasing, probably not as explicit as I'm suggesting, but all the comments were just this, like, I can't thank enough the fans of Calgary, the organization. But I mean, if you want to talk about, like, people have given you a huge berth for mental health, and as they should, but you didn't need to know what it was. He didn't say. Everyone respected his privacy. He was treated as good as he could have been treated, above and beyond anything we've ever seen for mental health in the history of the NHL. And he spoke a lot about gratitude, and then was like, kind of played the team.
And the Flames would have been absolutely roasted if they'd have suspended him
without
pay.
Which is
you ignorant. Yeah. What kind of people are you? Yeah. They go do the right thing, have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And I think beyond that, and I think that's more the issue is, if you're a fan of the Flames, you're connected to the Flames, you have that's how you feel about it. Because I think if he was going to come out and say, I appreciate everything they've done, but I just want a new start.
Everyone would get that.
But no, I still think there would be some people.
Been mad.
They paid you for an entire year. They stood behind you. And now.
Wow. I mean, no one's going to. If you're telling me that your mental health depends on something, I'm not going to argue about that. Like, that's just sort of an area no one goes anymore because people understand that you don't get the grasp of what other people are going through. If Oliver Kylington says, I need a fresh start, I think everyone would say, man, that sucks, but we get it. Or you tell the team before the trade deadline. But I mean, it's just for going above and beyond and creating a new standard of how NHL teams can treat players running through these incidents that really are just about trust. I mean, I can say I'm going to do mental health stuff. What are you going to say? You're wrong?
Yeah.
Is there a test you can line me up and say, no, he's not actually? Like, It's really about trust. And then to hear all the positive things said about the organization, it just feels like, man, for a team that really trusted you a lot and went out of their way to protect you here, never heard any leaks on what the hell happened. It felt like he didn't really
go
reciprocate
for less, right? Like, that's the other side of it is like, well, if you're leaving and getting more, okay.
Sure.
But you're not telling us that you just need a fresh start. It sounds like you want it all. but you didn't get it, and it has nothing to do with the city. I don't know. Maybe.
And look,
it does.
I think he's a good fit there.
I think it's great for
you
him.
watch Colorado
Great for
play.
Colorado.
What does Colorado? Well, all the players do.
I was going to say, if you put yourself in his shoes,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Oh, totally.
It's $1 million. It's a 1-year deal.
You stay healthy, you'll be all right.
Colorado is a team they're built on speed and skating.
Exactly.
Got a chance to win.
Exactly that. Yeah. And look, like in a vacuum, it totally makes sense. But the vacuum ignores that, as Rhett stated, it wouldn't have been long ago that the vast majority of NHL teams have just suspended him and not paid him $4 million to not show up for work for over 20 months, which I'm not suggesting he should have shown up. But I mean, it really seems like he's a bit oblivious to how far out of their way the Flames went to accommodate him, or he understood it and just said, yeah, cool. I don't need to reciprocate anything. And that just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
And again, we don't need to redo shows, and I'm not looking for you to bury a guy again, but you had kind of said that by the time it was done and the Flames would move on, July 1, July 2 is past. If you're Craig Conroy, you're like, no, we've moved on. You've made your choice. We're going to.
Well, I was
respect
shocked.
that.
You would have thought that it wasn't free agency. Like this is a deal. If all of what we saw was supposedly true, and that the Flames had done so good by Kylington, and Kylington appreciated it, blah blah blah. This is a deal that should have been done in June. Like they didn't have to.
We had shows all month of June saying, "Why isn't this done yet?" Like it's such a slam dunk to be done. Why isn't it done yet? Like, can anyone make sense of? Oh, it's going to get done. It's going to get done. And then the week leading up, it's like, this might not get done. Like we were at the draft, and it was sort of like the conversation had changed a bit, where it's like, well, maybe it won't get done. But there was no talk about, oh, Oliver's a UFA. Like you got to turn this guy into an asset. It was like, no, he's re-signing.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's why it feels like he sort of violated that loyalty in a way.
And I don't know that it's got the rug pulled out from under them, but you kind of got the impression that the Flames felt like there was.
You know what? I would think that Conroy at the end of the day would have appreciated probably a little more.
Be forthright about it?
Forthright about it, because his whole mandate has been asset management. And I don't think this is asset management. But I think he was put in that spot. I don't think this was a doing of his.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of keep coming back to the agent. Like JP Barry's been doing this a long time. He's very well respected. This just seems like a rare misplay here.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.